this isn't your average ordinary Sonic. This is Advanced Sonic 2.
Oh wait, we already played the first one?
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh yeah, we did. That was right in the middle of Double Boo.
Yes, right.
Even though for some strange reason Sonic 4 has done better than Sonic.
I don't understand.
I guess
really
less
don't.
people have played through Sonic 4.
But yeah, Cream is totally not kidnapped by Eggman because she's way too powerful. I bypassed that entire cutscene thing because there's no way that functionally happened.
Good. We're making our own story.
Exactly. This
world map is terrible, by the way.
So Dr. Eggman has started.
It's like Dr. Eggman moved to Kalos.
But yeah, the story is this: Dr. Eggman has started.
What the heck are those hills?
What?
Those hills, they're so angular. Like, in a way that's completely ridiculous. Yeah, so get your story out of the way before I noticed
Before you mention
else.
something, yeah. Dr. Eggman started kidnapping animals to fuel his badniks again. And Sonic's like, no. And
this is the amazing story.
No, the thing is that this time he's also kidnapped Creep. He's also like, I think he's trying to start. I think it's implied that he's going to try and start fueling them with the anthropomorphic animals now. In like a reference to roboticization, because he kidnaps Cream and Tails.
Tails.
Oh right, he kidnaps Tails and tricks Knuckles into working for him again. So yeah,
it's a good thing you got your story thing out of the way, because I want to say this does not look like a forest.
We're on the canopy.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, as far as Green Hill analogs go, this is nice.
What the hell happened to that? You know what? No, I'm keeping that in. just...
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as far as Green Hill analogs go, I do like this. I mean, is this close enough to Green Hill to really?
No, you know what happened? We in the bushes was one of those time signs from Sonic CD, where we just went to the past.
Yep, that's perfect. So this entire game takes place on Little Planet, then. Little Planet's the first level.
You know, it's weird how they were actually making Little Planet more of a thing before Mania, because Little Planet was referenced in Sonic 4 Episode 2, and I think it's heavily implied that Sonic 4 Episode 3 was like going to have them just go back to a new version of Little Planet, but that was canned. It's weird how Little Planet, just like Sonic CD, used to be more of an obscure thing, really. That's weird how Little Planet just kept coming back.
Also, there's a section of the fan base that apparently hates Sonic CD.
Yeah, those weirdos. Like, there's some arguments for the level design not being the best, and for certain levels, like Wacky Workbench, I agree. And the whole concept of having to do the whole, finding the robot generator in the past of each level as one way to actually do it, or just get the time stones. Like, why would you ever do it the other way? Just get the time stones. It's much easier that way. Look, Cream is if she became more of a fighter instead of a little polite girl, she would wreck people. Sonic would never have to do anything again. She is a missile. It's a sentient missile. Because look, she can even fly. You can't hide from her. You can't stop her. And she's only 6.
So is the flight the only thing that makes her so powerful?
Well, no, because here's the thing. She can tell Cheese to go and attack enemies. So if she's far away from an enemy, and even if the enemy has some sort of like spikes or whatever, she just sends Cheese and they blow up. But that also applies to bosses.
Oh wow!
So she is just an animal of mass destruction, and nothing can stop her. Which is why I'm just like, if she can do that, there's no way Eggman's capturing her in the Egg Hammer. That's not happening. It's just not. And in Sonic Battle, her specials are like the most broken of the entire thing. When she has this little arc where she doesn't like fighting and everything, but she only exercises with Amy in her weird version of fighting and exercising. But when she does, she can control Cheese to do some weird Hadouken super tornado things, and her trap action, despite being, super, like the most super obvious version of the traps, is a 2-shot killer. She is just so incredibly powerful to the point where it feels like if she was she's like Gohan. If she was just like fully apply herself, Eggman would stand no chance. Here I'm doing this roundabout thing to collect all the 7 special rings. See, I just sent Cheese to go dust that fool. With a simple B press. Granted, you can't spam it because, well, Cheese will spaz out if you try and spam it. But the amount of time before you use Cheese again is really short. So you'll see, because I'm intermixing Sonic and Cream playthroughs, and you'll see how exactly as things go along. But we're about to end the stage here, and we'll show off the special stage, which is actually one of the first 5 special stages, I'd have to say, are some of the easiest special stages in the series. But 6 and 7 can be deceptively hard. But here's what you need to do. You need to collect rings in a chain, and then you get multipliers for that chain until you collect the ring bonus, the amount of rings at the top of the screen there. And here I'm already halfway done.
Interesting.
Of course,
those other things are modifiers?
No, the red things are 5 rings. And it's just that you have to collect enough amounts of rings in a short amount of time to gain those multipliers, and keep collecting the rings to increase the multipliers.
The rings come back up, or are they one and gone thing?
One and done. The thing is that later on, they start putting rings, because you see a whole cluster of rings, so that technically any direction you go, as long as you don't go all crazy, would lead to more rings. But later on, they start putting rings in specific paths where you have to start off from a good path and just keep going, in order to keep that combo up, because you won't get it otherwise. And by the way, the thing that's following us is Zero, Dr. Robotnik's E-100 robot from Sonic Adventure that chases Amy around. Which is weird because Amy, I'm pretty sure, destroys it at the end of her story. But
he just builds another one. It's a robot.
Yeah, but it's part of an E series. Eggman usually does, because of the specific series that is. It makes more sense if he repaired it rather than just built another one, or else he just built another E series. Because that's another thing with Gamma's story, where he just decided to go. He decided, instead of making smaller badniks fully this time, he's going to focus on more advanced badniks. And just make a set of them and see how well that works. So yeah, Cream's going to be the one collecting the Chaos Emeralds, as if she's not already powerful enough. If there was if Super Cream existed, she'd just fly into Eggman's base, go no, and that would just be the end of it.
Yeah, we'd finally have something that's faster than Eggman.
The thing is, alternatively, if she decided that there was no other recourse than to stop Eggman with violence, she'd just summon it. She'd just have Cheese summon chaos energy into some sort of cheese spirit bomb to just destroy him.
Yeah, and then we have.
But no, she's way too nice. Her mom taught her to be nice and peaceful, and it's weird because she's Cream's mom is one of the only actual canonical parents these people have in the games.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird.
In the comics, of course, Sonic's mom and dad and uncle are there. Tails' parents were sent to an alternate dimension after he was born, and then they came back, but I think they got retconned out due to the whole thing. I think he's still an orphan now. Knuckles is still the last of his clan, except that now there are more echidnas everywhere, and Kid Penders has a hard-on for each of them.
Okay.
And yeah, Cream's mom is still there, but in Sonic X, Cream's mom is still active. It's just that Vector has a crush on her, which of course leads to hilarity. But it just brings up certain points where it's just like, yeah, some of these guys really are just like way older, because Vector's I think supposed to be like 20 or something. Oh, right, my stellar performance against the Egghammer Mark II. Well, just like Eggman's just like, I have an idea, I'll just redo the Egghammer. And in less than 11 seconds, his hard, just like, dude, this is something that must really hurt for Eggman's thing. I maintain it throughout the entire points of the games. He works so hard on these things. And then this guy just shows up and destroys his thing in less than 11 seconds. There's all that tuning and all that stuff. It's just crazy, but here's how Cream does it. Let's just canonically say that Eggman was so efficient this time that he has 2 of every vehicle.
No, so you actually do have both boss battles?
Yeah, I'll show each boss battle with how Cream and Sonic does it. It's like, it's like, okay, but I have this other one, and what's this little rabbit girl, what's she gonna do? 15 seconds.
So this is going to be...
This is
Sonic
Eggman.
Versus. They're both having separate playthroughs. They're not going to meet up at the end.
Exactly.
Cream's going to give Sonic the Chaos Emeralds.
Cream actually has her own separate story. Well, Cream is specifically going out trying to save her mom. Tails is somebody just like who Sonic saves, and is like, I don't know what Eggman's up to. Well, I'll find out. See you, Tails. What? Sonic, wait, no, I want to come too. And Knuckles is just like, Eggman tricked me again. I'll show him. Very, very
going
simple
through the
things.
same levels.
Well, yeah. What makes no sense though? I mean, for gameplay points, just like it makes no sense how you fight Knuckles in Sky Canyon, but for some reason, when deciding to take revenge on Eggman, he's back at Leaf Forest.
Hmm.
And in the end, this brings up like weird things where you can technically decide whose story is canonical. And most people would like say Sonic's in this case, because really, of course. But in Sonic Heroes, based on how the story goes, it implies that every story is canonical, meaning that Eggman. Oh yeah, see that. But meaning that Eggman, quote unquote, we'll see why I say that later. If we ever do Sonic Heroes, built 4 boss machines for each team. It's just 4 machines, like all at once. Like when. Did he have 4 arenas where they're fighting each other at slightly different times? Why didn't he just focus on one big one? Were they expecting 4 teams? Just a lot of questions come up.
I mean, we've learned that Eggman doesn't have the best plans in the 3D games.
Which is weird because Sonic Advance 3 involves Eggman using the Chaos Emeralds to split up the planet.
Why?
I don't know. I think there's extra reasons for why in the instruction booklet, but I mean, when we do Sonic Advance 3, I'll check.
It's easier to shrink the planet if it's split up.
But here's the thing. Sonic Unleashed, he does the same thing, except that now there's an ancient primordial monster in the planet. So like, where was he in Sonic Advance 3? You care to explain that? And so the canon's all weird.
Sonic Advance 3 happens after.
Where he just does it again?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, it's not there.
I mean, why would he want to do that again, considering it betrayed him like almost everything else in his life? Eggman is sad.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he trains to be the fastest and the smartest, so that he can have something to call his own
Just
and
one.
be proud of.
I mean, there's that thing with, oh, come on. There's that thing where he finally... I need to like almost make like a critical hit or something on Eggman's psyche and how it must be damaged beyond repair, because they do imply that he is getting like actually crazier at certain points.
Is Tails smarter than Eggman?
I think Tails is implied to be as smart as Eggman.
I mean, I guess he's smarter since he's as smart as Eggman, but he's just a kid.
Yeah, So thing is that Eggman does all this work, and it's even when he gets serious, he still needs to build bumbling robots as companions just so he can have people to talk to. It's really kind of sad. Not to mention that the stuff in Unleashed, because Unleashed and Forces would really just like destroy his psyche. Because Unleashed, he finally makes Eggman land. That's the thing he's wanted to do since ever. That's what he wanted to do. Like all the stuff with Scrap Brain and Metropolis and everything, they were starting points. But there, he finally did it, and Sonic still destroyed it. And
Unleashed? Isn't that Colors?
No. Colors is when he makes the Interstellar Amusement Park, which again would take massive amounts of work. Like, Tropical Resort has fully functioning hotels and stuff if you just stop and look. And Sonic destroys it all. And then we have the thing in Forces where he plans to take over the entire world, but if they just like follow the comics where Eggman technically does rule most of the world, it's like that could have been just like so much easier. But Sonic still just stops him. And I'm like, after that thing, what is he going to do with his life?
Yeah, because that was the same problem I had with Galaxy, or I was just thinking, what's Mario going to do after saving the universe? And Odyssey is like, oh, that's what they can make a sequel to a game about that epic. But now I'm in the same problem where I'm thinking, where's 3D Mario going to go next?
Well, because especially after that ending that I got spoiled on, I'm like, okay, that brings up a lot of things actually. So how are we going to proceed from here?
I mean, Zelda doesn't have that problem because Zelda can ebb and flow in scope all at once, and there's no real consistency. I mean, I'm wondering how it's going to go with this map size, but I'm confident it's going to get a lot smaller since Skyward Sword has a much smaller map than everything else.
I mean, I guess.
They're just going to make a smaller map and chock it full of stuff. And everyone's going to hate that too.
Even though Minish Cap did that so well.
Yeah, Minish
Even
Cap...
though my one major gripe with Minish Cap is how the Kinstones, just like, I spent so much work and eventually after getting so much, there's not enough to start it. Well, I actually still made it up there. That was still amazing. There's still not enough to like make me feel happy to get a Kinstone matched by like the middle of the game. They just don't give enough different types of items.
Oh yeah. Kinstones often give you like just money or other Kinstones. Well, that's really just Zelda on a whole's problem, where you're gonna get items, money, or that's really it. Items, money, and upgrades. There's not the Zelda games would have that much variation in what it gives you. I mean, Breath of the Wild gives you a lot of variation. So maybe if Minish Cap had like different armor pieces or something.
In my case, I'd say that to try and like get the like very type of items that would make things easier, and then more tie that into challenge, where it really would be just inefficient to just like go money hunting in the grass compared to like making a challenge for it, but at the same time locking it so that you can't just do every challenge at once. Like, just put that as like a semi-adventure to get all the requirements for the challenges, and then get the challenges.
There are a lot of items already that are tied to mini quests, so I don't think that's a problem.
Well, no, I'm saying more.
We just have to have some more items
in terms of specialty, because
the magic boomerang is tied to a quest, light arts are tied to a quest, the remote bombs are tied to a quest, or like a mini quest, a Kindstone piece thing. The mirror shield is tied to something. There's a lot.
Yeah, but I'm saying that with the amount of Kinstones that they have,
and the sword scrolls,
they should the amount of I'm saying that if they're going to give that amount of Kinstones to begin with, then they should have had something like on a concurrent level.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
They
probably
need
just lower
the Kinstones. So like, just lower the amount, and not make the white potion that OP.
For me, I just think that my only problem with Minish Cap is that it needed to be longer. If it had a one more dungeon or two more dungeons, it's probably my favorite Zelda game. I'm satisfied with the length, but if it was longer, I'd love it even more. It's like Majora's Mask. But even Majora's Mask has more mini dungeons. Minish Cap has like one mini dungeon, I think.
Here's the thing: in terms of, I honestly have a problem weighing Majora's Mask and Minish Cap for me, because they give me different type of experiences, and some of Minish Cap, no, Majora's Mask has more of the tedium and bad experiences comparatively, but it also has more of the crazy good experiences and story stuff and stuff about atmosphere and all that stuff. It's hard to it's hard to compare.
I used to compare them, but I realized that Minish Cap's side quests aren't really side quests because you have to do them in between the dungeons. Well, Majora's Mask side, there's a lot of detail. Majora's Mask side quests are optional, so even though they're both side quests, they're technically not the same. So they aren't as comparable as I used to think they are. But in the end, it really is less dungeons, more to do outside the dungeons for both games, and they're both my favorite. So that probably says something about what I like in a Zelda game, which means I probably would love the double else.
Yeah,
even though I love the dungeons anyways. So
it's Preem time.
But yeah, so
back to talk about the games. It's like combination of actually jumping on the thing and cheese is just amazing. He stands no chance. And I think it explodes even longer because he just can't believe it. He's just sitting there just questioning what's going on.
Not to mention, this is one of those. This isn't one of those games where Sonic's the fastest, is he?
He's the fastest, and gets like the boost faster and everything. And he has the air dash, which increases his speed like way better than everything else. So yeah, it's just that he doesn't have the alternate skills that everybody else has.
Right.